The regular meeting of the Liquor Control Commission is now called order. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Yep.
Trustee Argyris?
Here.
Trustee Brady?
Here.
Trustee Here?
Here.
Trustee Vogel? You did say that.
Here.
Oh, it's commissioners. I'm sorry. Commissioner Hein?
Yes.
Commissioner Argyris?
Yes.
Commissioner Brady?
Still here.
Commissioner Here?
Yeah.
Commissioner Vogel?
Here.
Commissioner Lang?
Here.
Chairperson Abiscato?
Here. Approval of minutes on the special meeting of February 25th.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Vogel, second by Commissioner Argyris. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hein?
Yes.
Commissioner Argyris?
Yes.
Commissioner Brady?
Yes.
Commissioner Here?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Lang?
Yes.
Chairperson Abiscato?
Yes. New business?
Hearing in the matter of Hibachi Sushi Seafood Buffet, Incorporated, 548B West Dundee Road, Wheeling, Illinois, docket number 13-02.
Mr. Fondilis?
In that the business has been closed, thank you, Madam President, for the past 60 days. This is a forfeiture of the business license that will continue into our regular board meeting with the removal of that license from the total listed in our code.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Brady, second by Commissioner Argyris. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hein?
Yes.
Commissioner Argyris?
Yes.
Commissioner Brady?
Yes.
Commissioner Here?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Lang?
Yes.
Chairperson Abiscato?
Yes. Do I have a motion to?
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Lang, second by Commissioner Here. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hein?
Yes.
Commissioner Argyris?
Yes.
Commissioner Brady?
Yes.
Commissioner Here?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Lang?
Yes.
Chairperson Abiscato?
Yes. Regular meeting is now called to order. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Yep.
Trustee Argyris?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Here.
Trustee Here?
Here.
Trustee Vogel?
Here.
Trustee Lang?
Here.
President Abiscato?
Here. Approval of minutes of the workshop meeting of February 25th.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Trustee Hines, second by Trustee Vogel. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Argyris?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Here?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
President Abiscato?
Yes. Approval of the minutes of the special meeting of February 25th.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Trustee Argyris, second by Trustee Vogel. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Argyris?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Here?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
President Abiscato?
Yes. Mr. Fondilis, any changes to the agenda?
No, Madam President.
There are no changes, no and a proclamation.
Okay. Kidney Cancer Awareness Month, March 2013. More than 20 million Americans have chronic kidney disease, and 20 million more are at risk for developing the disease. Healthy kidneys are essential for regulating our bodies by removing fluids, waste, and toxins, and kidneys release hormones that help regulate blood pressure, produce red blood cells, and strengthen our bones. Although the precise cause of kidney cancer is unknown, the two main causes of kidney failure are diabetes and high blood pressure. Collectively responsible.
You okay? Here. Where are we? Whereas although the precise cause of kidney cancer is unknown, the two main causes of kidney failure are diabetes and high blood pressure, collectively responsible for more than 70% of all kidney failure cases, which indicates that kidney failure and disease can only be delayed or prevented. And whereas advances in diagnosis and procedures such as radiation and chemotherapy create opportunity for kidney cancer patients to live longer, and more than 200,000 kidney cancer survivors live in the United States today. And whereas during Kidney Cancer Awareness Month, patients with diabetes and hypertension are particularly encouraged to schedule regular screenings for chronic kidney disease. since treatment is likely to be more effective if disease is detected early. Now, I, Judy Abrascato, President, Village of Wheeling, do hereby proclaim March 2013 as Kidney Cancer Awareness Month through Wheeling and encourage all citizens of Wheeling to increase their awareness of the health risk of kidney cancer.
Thank you. Can I have your Kleenex? I got music Kleenex.
I forgot.
Thank you. Okay, I'm okay now.
Okay. Any citizens' concerns and comments?
No staff report?
It's after.
It's after.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Okay.
You're going ahead like me now.
Ms. Picatis?
President Abrascato, members of the board, Village Clerk Simpson, Village Manager Svandelis. My name is Panare Abacutis, and I'm here representing Robert Morris University. I am the director of both the Arlington Heights and Bensonville campuses, and I'm here again before you this evening to remind you of the amazing education and scholarship opportunities we continue to offer the residents of Wheeling. Through the College of Adult Continuing Studies, we offer the bachelor degree in business management at the Arlington Heights campus to the adult student 21 years and older. The classes are offered in the evening, 2 evenings per week, to earn a bachelor degree with our studies based on experiential learning. Our students are better prepared than most, with real-life work experience and a stellar resume to enter the workforce or to advance within their current place of employment. This bachelor degree is earned close to home, and not only does Robert Morris have the highest university accreditation, but our business programs have also received specialized accreditation through the International Assembly for Collegiate Business Education. Also, I want to point out that Robert Morris is a not-for-profit university. I am here to remind again the residents of Wheeling that they will receive the Community Residency Grant, which reduces tuition from $22,200 per academic year to only $5,000 per academic year. The next upcoming class start begins April 29. I look forward to providing information on these scholarships for those that are interested. I ask that you give us a call at the Arlington Heights campus at 847-718-6700 or 847-718-6702, which is my direct extension. Those interested can also email me as well, and I have provided this information to the village.
Thank you very
Any
much.
questions?
It's really a big opportunity for someone for their education,
Yes, it is.
and we thank you for that.
Oh, my pleasure.
Thank you.
Mary Kruger?
That's great.
Good evening, Madam President, trustees, John, staff, citizens. I am Mary Kruger, and I live at 3215 Jackson Drive, Arlington Heights, Village of Wheeling proper. I would like to conduct a visualization exercise this evening. If you will, please close your eyes. Seriously, close your eyes. Picture.
My wallet's gone.
Chief Benson's here. He'll keep an eye on it. Picture, if you will.
He's got it.
Picture, if you will, a village president, a clerk, 6 trustees, a village manager, Mark, Tony, you guys too, and maybe an attorney. Sorry, Jim. Anyway, they're all wearing hard hats. They each have a gold-plated shovel in their hands. A photographer from the Daily Herald, Tribune, Journal Topics are all at the ready to take a snapshot of the groundbreaking ceremony at the new Wheeling Town Center. Do you see it? Okay, open your eyes. Anyway, I see that it's item 13C on tonight's agenda, and it's a discussion about this very topic. I don't mean to diminish the magnitude of work that's involved in such a major development, but sometimes visualizing the end goal can help it become a reality. So thanks for indulging me with my little exercise, and I look forward to a spirited discussion that determines our next steps forward. We'll wish you good luck this evening. Thanks.
Thank you.
Consent agenda. All items listed on the consent agenda are considered to be routine. Oh, I'm sorry, now I jumped the staff fast.
That's all right.
Okay, can we call it adjournment,
Sure.
please?
Yeah, we'll call adjournment and start all over. Staff reports, Mr. Fondilas, please.
Thank you, Madam President. This is just to
No problem.
reiterate what I read last week about Earth Hour. During Earth Hour, an international observance organized by the World Wildlife Fund, all non-essential lights in village facilities will be turned off for 1 hour in order to draw attention to environmental challenges and encourage the conservation of resources. Landmarks and businesses are encouraged to join the village and do the same. The event will be observed worldwide on March 23rd on a rolling time basis at 8:30 p.m. local time.
Thank you. Consent agenda.
Okay, sorry about that. Consent agenda, all items listed on the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the village board and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a board member or citizen so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered after all other agenda items.
Madam President,
Yes,
I'd like
trustee
to remove
Vogel.
I'd like to remove 11B. It'll become 13D.
Okay.
So move on the remainder.
Second.
Motion made by trustee Agiris, second by trustee Here. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Burgess?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Here?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
President Eversotto?
Yes. There is no old business. We have new business.
On new business, two resolutions, 13A regarding the Dundee Road pedestrian path project from the Des Plaines River to the I-294 tollway.
Mr. Janik?
Thank you, Madam President. Tonight, we have a resolution. Staff is requesting that the board approve a contract with Thomas Engineering for inspectional services for Phase 3 of the project that will allow a bike or a pathway to be built from Wheeling's east border to over to the 294 bridge. The contract requested to be approved tonight was anticipated as part of the cost for the project, so this is not an extra or anything like that. It was expected, and that's it.
Have any questions, or do I have a motion?
So moved.
Oh, do you want me to read
We
this?
have a
Want me to
question.
read the resolution?
You read it.
No, I didn't. Okay.
He read it.
Item 13A1, resolution waiving competitive bidding and accepting a proposal from Thomas Engineering Groups LLC for Phase 3 construction engineering service agreement for federal participation on the Dundee Road pedestrian path project from the Des Plaines River to the I-294 tollway.
We have a motion on the floor with a question. Trustee Hein.
Thank you. I noticed in the packet that we have on this that the path will start on the east side of the bridge on the south side of Dundee Road, which is the village of Wheeling proper. My question is, when are we going to make provisions for the residents of Wheeling to have a path to that point and continuing on the rest of the path? It also shows that there is going to be a path on the north side of Dundee Road up to Port Wine Road. My question is, are they going to be putting a light at Port Wine Road intersection so that they have a safe haven to cross the street to the south side to continue going eastbound?
There is a sidewalk on the south side of Dundee Road along the front of Riverside Plaza that goes to the Forest Preserve. That's where the path is going to be picked up. So there actually is a sidewalk that's going to connect to the path to 294.
Okay, it's not going to be widened out or anything like that?
No, the sidewalk that's existing will not be widened out. It will stay as it is.
Thank you.
So we have motion on the floor by trustee Lang. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Adjuris. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Argyris?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Hare?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
President Evers-Scott?
Yes.
Item 13A2, resolution accepting a local agency agreement for federal participation for construction and construction engineering with the Illinois Department of Transportation, IDOT, for the Dundee Road pedestrian path project from the Des Plaines River to the I-294 tollway.
Do you have a motion or any questions?
I just got to... So moved. I'll second his move. I just want to make Tim Merrihew, our project manager, great job on this, Tim. The paperwork and the grant and following up on all that. It's not easy, I know. There's always a ton of work when you're dealing with other agencies, and nice job on this. Thank you.
Trustee Lang made the motion. Trustee Adjuris, you second?
Yes, ma'am.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Argyris?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Hare?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
President Evers-Scott?
Yes.
Item 13B, resolution waiving competitive bidding requirements and authorizing the purchase of a compact wheel loader and snow blower attachment from Burris Equipment of Waukegan, Illinois.
So moved.
Mr. Stavros.
Thank you, Madam President. As you can see, I've included in the packet report on the condition of the current piece of equipment that we have that is no longer operational. And we had planned on replacing this piece this year. It was in the SURF fund. This particular piece that we're replacing it with is a multi-purpose loader, and where the other one that we have currently isn't. This is a loader that can be used year-round, and it comes in about $50,000 under what the other one would have been.
Wow.
So we're saving a lot of money and getting a lot more. It can be done. It can be used year-round. It's a versatile piece of equipment.
Thank you, Mr. Stavros. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Motion made by trustee Hein.
Second.
Second by trustee Brady. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Argyris?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Hare?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
President Evers-Scott?
Yes.
Item 13C, discussion regarding a non-binding term sheet for the development of property compromising a part of the Town Center redevelopment project, area TIF district of the Village of Wheeling, Cook and Lake Counties, Illinois.
Mr. Ferrillo.
Thank you, Madam President. Before the board for discussion tonight is a non-binding term sheet relative to the WIC site development. What I'd like to do is go through some of the highlights of this term sheet that we've worked on with the development team that is here this evening. First, a little bit of history. The Urban R2 was named as developer of record for this site in February of 2011. Most recently, in January of 2013, the board tasked the developer and the staff with the assignment of coming up with a term sheet that will form the basis of a redevelopment agreement. The project includes a 300-unit luxury apartment complex coupled with 95,000 square feet of first-floor retail and 30,000 square feet of second-floor office space. What the term sheet provides is for an $8 million TIF incentive to go up against a project budget of about $101 million. The TIF incentive will also include a donation of the land to the developer for this project. As you may recall, the village purchased the WIC site for $3.75 million. I think we go back to about '06, roughly. Now, relative to the term sheet, the parties were able to agree on the bulk of the term sheet, but for two main terms. In one term, actually three main terms. The terms that we could not agree on relate to the timeline of agreeing on, the timeline to close a redevelopment agreement, as well as our what we call dark day provisions. This term sheet provides that if we agree on the terms and it's non-binding, the parties would have 4 months to close on an RDA, or to agree on an RDA. Following agreement on the RDA, there'd be a 6-month time period to allow for the developer to obtain all of its relative zoning approvals and we included a requirement in the term sheet that prior to signing the RDA, the developer would have to bring to us 75% of the leases for the retail site. This term has caused some concern for the developer, and the developer's here tonight, and they'll speak to it briefly, but we're not here to negotiate these terms. This term, according to the developer, will present some trouble for their financing. Now, this term is an important term from the staff perspective for several reasons. We wanted to, within a 10-month period, and I think this board wanted this, to ensure the viability of the project. We wanted to know that there were tenants for this project that were going to fill the buildings when they were built. That's one of the reasons why we asked for it. Secondly, we asked for the 75% threshold in order to protect the land. We're giving land to this developer up front, albeit in a phased process, but we feel like requiring leases, we're going to know that we're giving the land in a manner that we've got users that will step in at the time the project's ready to go. And finally, by the end of the 10-month period, we wanted to be sure this was a viable deal. We wanted to be sure that we didn't spend too much more time at the end of the 10 months if the users weren't there. Now, the developer has some points relative to financing that I'm certain the developer has talked to his lenders about that will have to be addressed. The other provision that we could not reach agreement on is what we call a dark day provision. The dark day provision provides that once the development is built, if at any time it dips below 70% occupied, we would give notice to the developer that they have 18 months to cure this issue. If the developer cures that occupancy threshold within 18 months, we would reinstate TIF payments that would be suspended pursuant to this dark day provision. If the developer fails to go back over that 70% threshold, we would give them another 18 months to do that. If they were able to do that within 36 months, we wouldn't give them full back pay of the TIF payments that were stopped, but we would reinstate TIF payments at the time of cure. And if the development, for example, could not cure this default within 36 months, the village would have the option of terminating TIF payments. Now, this was an issue that was important to staff because the development provides for a theater that is about 50% of the leasable space. And the concern from the staff's standpoint was, in the event the theater goes dark within that 36-month period, we're going to have a development that's potentially half full. So these are the two main terms that we've reached impasse over, I would say, until today. We had a long discussion today, and I'll get into that in a bit. The other term relates to what we call profit sharing, and there's a profit sharing provision in the term sheet that says that if this developer sells this development within a certain time frame and makes a certain threshold of profit on the sale, the village would be able to share in some of the profit after a reasonable rate of return is given to the developer. Parties worked hard to reach where we are on this particular term sheet until we hit this impasse. Today I had a discussion with the attorney for the developer as well as one of the representatives, and in fact it was early this afternoon. They came in with some new proposals, and the new proposals relate to a potential reduction in the actual TIF being requested, which from 8 million down to a lower number, in exchange for a lightening or a reduction of some of the terms that the developer feels the lender may have an issue with. The terms being the 75% lease threshold, as well as the dark day provisions and the profit sharing. What the developer is talking about at this point relates to a phasing of the project, where the developer would agree within the first 10 months to have everything ready relative to the residential and what they call the phase one retail, which is going to be retail on Dundee Road. And then from there, we go into phases 2 and 3, and the developer can talk more about that. Tonight, we don't want to have the board react to any of that. We just want you to know where things are. What we're looking for tonight and what we think makes sense is that the parties, given this really recent proposal, which could be beneficial, we need some time to digest it on the staff level and to make perhaps a recommendation to you. We think 30 days to consider what the developer brought to us today would make some sense. The developer of record agreement is not, after today, is not in full force anymore, but that doesn't prevent us from negotiating with this developer relative to some of these terms that have come up just today, in fact. So the developer perhaps might want to say a few words to you, and we can answer any questions for the board.
Thank you, Jim.
Sure.
Mayor, members of the board, thank you. My name is Bob Kenny. I'm here on behalf of Urban R2 and Marquette Properties, and appreciate the time you're giving us. And also wanted to thank the staff who has been very helpful. We've worked long and hard with them. I think the most important point that I'd like and that my client would like to make is the impasses we reached are not our own corporate issues that we have a problem with, but having dealt with lenders, we don't believe that we're going to be able to get financing for the project with these restrictions in them. And we've been working with staff trying to find a way to get there. And today, Darren Sloninger from Marquette had a proposal that Jim was referring to. And we would like an opportunity to see if going down that path gets the village the protection that it's seeking, but also gives us what we think we can get financed with our lenders. So we are asking for 30 days to try and work that part of it out. We understand that the agreement making my client the preferred developer is no longer in effect. We understand that that means the village can go out and do an RFP, seek someone else, but we do believe that it's certainly worth the 30 days investment of time to see if we can pull this out to arrive at a plan that we think we can get financed, because that's really what we're afraid of. We don't want to be signing a term sheet tonight and then get to the redevelopment agreement in 4 months and have our lenders tell us that's not going to work.
Trustee Lang.
You were pretty confident or in our report that you have so many commercial opportunities in that center. Are they still pretty viable at this point?
Yes. Yes. I'd say I think it was Dunkin' Donuts is one of the tenants, but they have I'm going to say an area restriction from a nearby store. So that is the only tenant that I know of that would have to, shall we say, waive something in order to go in. But all the other tenants, the letters of intent are solid.
Yeah, well, Dunkin' Donuts, I mean, there's one
right
eventually coming in right down the street.
I think you'll be up and going before they are.
Yeah. They're right there, Bill.
So that's the only one, but all the other ones are
okay, and my other questions for staff is, are these sticking points fairly typical, or what we're asking for? Is it pretty typical, or are we, I know we're going out on a limb to protect ourselves, and we really need to do that, but is it anything beyond what typically would be asked on a RDA?
You want mine?
I'll let, I don't think they are atypical. I mean, it's, Mr. Lobby has been working with us as our consultant. Mike has done an awful lot of deals relative to, we're using these terms. Mike, would you have anything to add relative to this?
Hi, Ms. Mayor and members of the board. My name is Mike Lobby. I represent the village on this transaction. I think that these terms can present some financing issues. I think they can also be worked through. I also think that they are fairly typical, particularly in the context of a transaction like this, where the village is really in the position of being an equity provider up front in the form of the land and a lender on the back end in the form of a TIF note. So I think that these things are fairly typical. I think that these things in the context of the larger city that's just east of here is the city of Chicago. That is it happens all the time, and I think that these things can be worked through.
In light that it's our decision to delay it for the 30 days, I have no problem. I believe in this project. We believe in this project, but I have no problem with the 30 days on this.
Trustee Brady, you had to...
If it continues to move forward, when do you think we're going to see copies of leases for the retail?
Well, what's being talked about, Trustee Brady, is copies of leases they're talking about breaking the retail into 3 phases. Phases being Phase 1, about 35,000 square feet along Dundee Road. Phase 2 and 3 haven't been fully defined yet, but we have a time frame of about 10 months for the developer to provide 75% of the leases, and what they're proposing is for Phase 1 of the retail by the end of 10 months from the time we reach agreement on a term sheet. So if that's April, we're talking about, is that February? So February, we'd see some leases for Phase 1 retail.
What phase is the theater in?
What are you thinking about the theater? What phase? 2? Phase 2, you may see that sooner than later, right? I mean, the theater may be willing to present a lease a lot sooner, but that would be Phase 2.
Okay, and at what time, according to what's going on here, then in actuality, when would the residential start? Right away?
The residential would not start until we close on the RDA. So we're talking about 10 months from now, is what I would expect for the residential. That would be when and they may do it sooner. It'd be at the time they get their financing, at the time they present 75% of the leases for Phase 1. So it could be 11, like I say 10, but 11 months from today.
So the faster we get going, the better it'll be. The faster we get it going. Yeah, I too am up on this whole project, and I don't think doing anything, any other developer would do anything different than they're doing right now, and they'd be behind. I think we spent a lot of time, and they've done a lot of research on this whole project, and are probably closer than anybody to get going. So I'd be happy to let them have that 30 days.
Thank you. Trustee here, did you have a question?
Yes,
or?
I did, thank you. I sat up here and I visualized. And I'm still not a fan of the theater, but again, we'll see what takes place on that. But the question that I have is you're proposing 300 luxury apartments. You look at the project itself and you look at the transportation that's near that, which is the Metro. And the Metro runs only weekdays. So there's no weekend services. How are we going to be able to build these apartments, rent them out, because no one's going to move there because they have no train service, or if they do move there, they're going to add to it with additional cars. I thought the concept is to get this type of train service to be able to run like Arlington Heights down that one, where you have them on a more frequent basis through the line that runs through Wheeling as well. My point being is, you guys want to propose this project there. Do you have any influence with the Metro people to maybe increase the service there or along the line? That's something you can look in probably within the next 30 days and come back. You don't have the answer tonight, because I think that will be a sticking point, because you're going to build these things, and if people don't rent them, they're going to be rented out at a lower price. Thus, we will be eliminating the luxury portion of this, and it could turn into a slum. And I have no problems with granting them the additional time as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Trustee here? I'm sorry, Trustee Hein?
Thank you.
Again.
A couple questions relative to the plan of the timeline here. You're contemplating putting up the the apartments, the 300-unit apartment building first as being phase one, correct?
You may want to come up to the podium, maybe answer these questions. Thanks.
I would like to see phase one to encompass two things, the apartment building and the Alamo Draft Cinema. It's a bigger portion of the project. I've been talking to these folks, and they seem to be, and they're called the anchor. I think that that should be done at the same time. I also think that your infrastructure should be put in 100% for everything, all at one time. Also, as far as your retail is concerned, the ones that you have listed here are of the type that can change in a moment's notice, depending on the market. They all have a plan on how they want to expand. If you don't fit into that plan, they're not going to go. It's absolutely critical that when this agreement is done, okay, that these folks step up and sign these leases, because it's going to have to be a part of their expansion plans. I, for one, will not vote on this project until we are absolutely assured that thing is going to fly. Period. I don't like the long timeline. You're taking too long to finish the retail end of it. The apartments are crucial to having enough rooftops to feed your retail sector. And they have to come together much closer than they are. So it's absolutely crucial to me that you step up the timeline, you include the Alamo into your first phase, complete the infrastructure and the entire piece before I'll vote on it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have no problem granting the 30-day extension. I like what I see. I'm a little leery about what I think everybody feels is things are going to change. They may change over the 10 months, but hopefully other restaurants and other retailers will step in and fill the void if that happens. Would be nice to have signed leases, but that's not the way it goes these days. So give them the 30 days and go from there.
So we'll have a consensus. The consensus, did you have a question, Trustee Edwards?
Just a question, yes.
Yes, go ahead.
Maybe to Mr. Monishane, this $8 million TIF request, how would that be financed? How are we doing this?
Essentially, what we would do is issue a TIF note, as we have on other projects, and pledge the property tax increment that the project generates.
So it'd be strictly like a revenue bond, more than likely? As you go?
As you go.
In other words, if it's not, and it's only generated from that project, Trustee Argyris, if $8 million is not generated from the town center project, the developer will not earn the full TIF incentive.
And I guess the other thing that becomes confusing, I don't have a problem granting the 30-day thing. I mean,
Okay.
I have a problem with, it seems like it's taken a long time. And I guess the other problem, months ago, we had asked that you guys reach out a little bit. And reaching out back, I don't even know what this site plan looks like anymore. I really don't. 300 apartment buildings now. It's this, it's that. I mean, I have nothing here other than a blueprint of the property line with some boxes in it and a heck of a lot of parking. I mean, what does that mean? Is there a chance maybe in the next 30 days they can do something, come in with a site plan, a preliminary thing, maybe to the Plan Commission, show them something where it's a public meeting where if folks have an interest, they can come by?
I think you may have it.
This is what I got.
That should have been in the packet.
I got that in my packet.
What I'm submitting is...
Yeah, but the style of the building, what kind of...
No, I understand.
You know, I'm talking, I know this is nothing.
Okay, well, what I was showing was a site plan showing the anticipated locations of the tenants who have signed letters of intent.
But like the housing, I mean, the amenities, the infrastructure we're talking about.
Usually that would come after we get a term sheet, at least.
But during the process of a term sheet, I never went into a term sheet with anything other than seeing what we're terming about here, other than we're talking about a bunch of restaurants and a theater and 300 apartment buildings.
Right.
Like what? You know what I'm saying? I'm not being facetious, but I'm saying this, that we've seen something that we got excited about, and then we went hard on a term sheet in negotiations with staff and these guys. or anybody?
Yeah, the presentation from January 21st was a little more detailed, and probably could have been included in today's discussion, but I don't think things have changed much visually from the January 21st presentation.
Only because to me, it's just a huge thing, and to get input from the public too is big.
Well,
this is big.
There's no doubt, as soon as this term sheet gets agreed upon and signed, we immediately file our plan unit development application, and that would get us to a plan commission hearing. I'm going to throw out 60 days. It's obviously up to staff. Got to do public notice, but I would think that we would be to a plan commission in approximately 60 days after the term sheet is signed. So if we have 30 days, that would be 90 days as an estimate when we'd be back before the public with the full public hearing.
And what's staff's opinion on this thing regarding, we had talked years ago with the alignment of Northgate. Is there going to be some adjustments to this stuff? I mean, is there the right-of-ways acquired along Dundee Road if there has to be signalization or turning lanes that we've talked about before? I mean, love to see the project, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of infrastructure things and pieces of the puzzle outside of that project to make this project work. I mean,
That's a level of detail that
it's such a huge level of detail.
that the RDA is going to take care of.
Right.
At the term sheet level, we wouldn't typically get
No, I
into
know,
that.
but this has been talked about so
Sure.
long that
That'll all
3
be
years.
considered, right?
I would say that is definitely a driver to the kind of development that this is, recognizing the traffic impact that already exists on Dundee Road and the ingress and egress opportunities there. That has already been discussed and as Jim said, will be further vetted through the RDA process.
Okay. That's fine.
Trustee Heine has another question.
Thank you. When you go to seek financing for your project, are you going to be doing that in phases too and get financing for the apartment building first?
Well, I guess,
Are you asking to have the entire project financed?
if we can get the entire project financed at one time, we would do that. There's no doubt about that. We have, the property is going to be taken down in phases, so a lender may have concern about that. The apartment building is about an 18-month construction time frame, and the retail is about 12 months. Is that right? So we have a 6-month time period within which we would have to be building the apartments before we could start the retail. So a lender may shift his commitment on that piece because we're not taking down the retail land until we're ready to go. So that it may come in.
So actually, this project is predicated on each phase being absolutely successful, otherwise you're not going to be able to get financing for the retail portion of the construction.
Well, I think I would say we definitely will want the tenants signed up so that we can move forward.
Boy, you got a lot of ifs in this project, I'm telling you. Thank you.
Well, tonight, we just want to have the consensus, and I believe everyone has given a consensus.
What about Bill? Did you say no problem?
I would like to have a roll call on that. I don't want to have the
All right.
consensus.
So we have the consensus of the 30-day approval. Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Here?
Yes.
Trustee Heine?
No.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Adjuris?
Yes.
And myself, yes. So we expect you in 30 days with this.
We
We
understand.
have to be, because it has been 3 years.
We appreciate your consideration, and we will be back. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Okay.
So this will be this one.
Item 13B. Resolution authorizing a second amendment to the village manager's employment agreement.
Mr. Vogel, you asked for it to be pulled.
I'd like to table it for a week.
Motion, need a motion?
Do we need a motion? We have a motion to table the
I'll second it.
motion made by trustee Vogel second by trustee Brady. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Argyris?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Here?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
No.
President Evers-Scotto?
No. So it has been tabled, so we will bring that back at our next meeting. Official communications, Wheeling wishes Dana Allen good luck tonight. Tonight is the final season of The Biggest Loser. Achievements have been truly inspirational, and her hometown is rooting for her. So we don't know what's happening because we don't have the television here, but we're excited for her and hope that it comes down to where she is the winner. And also Wheeling High School. If you're familiar with the New Dawns, first time in 7 years, 2 weeks ago, they took the grand championship. So they have really come a long way. They're phenomenal. We heard their concert Thursday night, and it's a phenomenal group, and they're going to keep going on. So for all of you parents that are Wheeling High School and you're not Wheeling High School, this is our high school going forward and putting us on the map. So we congratulate them. Mr. Fondilas?
Thank you, Madam President. I have a matter of technicality this evening. The subject is the 80-20 grant that the village is applying for street lighting on Wolf Road. We talked about it several times, and the board agreed to move forward as part of our JT jurisdictional transfer discussion and the larger project of Wolf Road. But in order to complete the grant application, I need to ask for a motion from the board that agrees that we will allocate the 20% village share of the project to our budget. This is something we already discussed. It's just a formality that is required by IDOT in order to complete the application.
So move.
Motion made by trustee Adjuris.
Second.
Second by trustee Brady. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Argyris?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Here?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
President Evers-Scotto?
Yes,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Do you have any further communications? Otherwise, I would ask for approval of the bills February 21st through March 13th.
Madam President, I have one thing.
Yes,
Status update, Dunkin' Donuts. That's a lot of revenue that's going out the window. That thing, they won't have that thing ready for another year.
I can't really explain it, except that the property owner and the contractor for the Dunkin' Donuts operator have had issues between themselves. The property owner was responsible for putting the shell of the building up, and then another contractor was being hired by the Dunkin' Donuts operator to finish out the inside. We talk to them weekly. I have no power to tell them that they have to finish that building in a certain amount of time. If the building hadn't been started and the shell hadn't been completed, perhaps I could have pulled their permit. However, I can't really do that. They built the building, electric's there, gas is there. This is a very slow process. I mean, I'm sure that this is taking 3 times as long as a typical Dunkin' Donuts to build. But I just don't know the inner workings, agreement-wise, contract-wise, between the property owner, the Dunkin' Donuts operator, and then the contractors involved in it.
Thank you, and continue to check with them. Hopefully it'll open one day.
Madam President?
yes.
Still got that donut urge on here.
Related to that, what's the duration of a permit on that building?
If a permit is pulled and then within 6 months, no construction happens, we have the ability to pull that permit. In this particular case, though, the permit was pulled, and they have done construction. They've done the sewers, they've done the parking lot, the curbs, the shell of the building itself, extended electric and gas. There's really no permit to pull at this point.
There's no time limit? I mean, a permit, a construction permit lasts forever until they decide to get it done?
Well, no, like I said, if they hadn't started the project, They have 6 months to start the project before it can be terminated. But the situation in this case is that they actually did do the work, or most of the work. Now, the interior work was a separate permit. They have done some work on the inside, so they are theoretically working on it. But like I said, there's nothing in this case for me to pull.
Yeah. One other thing also, in that area right there, I asked Public Works, last week, they ripped out a section to a sidewalk, dug a hole, filled the hole back in, and poured the sidewalk, and the temperature wasn't even above freezing. Nobody was out there. They covered it with a tarp. That's a public walk somebody worked on, and nobody knows who did it.
That situation was a repair done by AT&T, and they came in, took out a square or two, made their repair, and they poured the concrete without an inspection or actually a permit on that particular square.
So when that fails this coming summer, they'll be back to fix it again? Because you know they didn't compact the ground. The ground is frozen. You know whatever they put in there wasn't compacted properly, and they poured it in freezing weather without any protection other than a tarp.
We will keep an eye on it.
All right, thank you. That's it.
Thank you. Approval of the bills of February 21st through March 13th.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by trustee Lang, second by trustee Here. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Argyris?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Here?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
President Evans?
Yes. I need a motion to go into executive session to discuss pending, probable, and imminent litigation, the setting of a price for sale of lease of property owned by the village, executive session minutes, the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of a specific employee or employees of the village. I need a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by trustee Hines, second by trustee Agiris. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Argyris?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Here?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
President Evans?
Yes, board will go into executive session at 7:30.